Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alessandra. If this is your first time here, welcome. Today I'm going to show you how to make one of these little components right here. It's like a half flower almost. Um, and we're going to make a bracelet, and then I'll show you how to make a component like this one. And then we're going to do a bracelet that has this component incorporated. I am using the Soft Flex Peace and Love kit that I unboxed last week or a few days ago. And if you see that there's a lot missing, it's because I made a beautiful necklace that I'm going to share with you guys later that will match this component and the bracelets that we're going to make. But without further ado, let's just get started. Okay, let's go over the list of materials. So from the box, you're going to get these fuchsia beads and then these petal beads, as well as these orange beads. And of course, the soft flex medium wire that comes in the antique brass colors, as well as our cream tubes. So this is all that it's in the box. If you do want to make some earrings, we also get these ear wires in the box. Now from my own stash, I have some Toho round 11 O's, and these are nickel plate. I've been using this color a lot and I order more because I really love it. And then I'm going to use some of this vintage copper colored super duo beads. And then, that's what you got. I think the clasp is also from my own stash. There is a clasp that comes in the kit if you prefer to use that one. But I think I do have other plans for that one, so that's why I decided to use this clasp. So without further ado, let's just get started. Okay, so I got my soft flex wire and I cut about 14 inches, 13 to 14 inches. I know that that's a lot, but this bracelet, we're gonna have to go through some of these seed beads a few times. So it's almost like we're using, fire line or something like that, but we're not. We're just using this. The reason I chose this and not to do the fire line is because I just wanted to experiment with, this wire, see how far I can stretch it out and what uses. And I decided that that actually worked pretty well because we're making some pretty stiff components. Now I'm going to go straight into the bracelet and then I'll explain the little component if you want to make it separate later. But it's pretty much the same thing. It's just, we're just going to do it, into a component. And we're going to make a bracelet instead of a single component. But I think, so you're going to take your wire and, find the middle sort of, and then you're going to string, your the first pink bead right here. Okay, so I hope that this is gonna be pretty clear. I'm gonna try to clear out so a little bit around this, so, and then I'll probably zoom in during the editing hopefully. But let's see. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna sort of get it in the center, maybe a little bit off center, like about there, and we're going to pick up about 5 of these super duos and we're gonna string them. So we got our 5 beads, and next what we're gonna do, we're gonna take this wire, we're gonna take the longer, remember that we said just slightly off center? Okay, so we're gonna take this wire right here and we're going to go through this hole right there. Okay, so we're gonna pass through right there and then we're gonna pull, and this is gonna put our beads right under that bead right there. Okay, so this is pretty simple actually. The only hard part is getting through these holes the second time. It's gonna be a little bit of a fuss, but it's worth it in the end, I promise. So you're gonna take this wire and you're gonna go through the second hole of the super duo. So not the top, because you just went through the top, you're gonna go through the second hole right there. So, and you're gonna pull, okay? And that positions your wire to go, through the second hole so that you can get set up to put your petal beads. So these are top drill, side drilled. So you're just gonna pick one up, then you're gonna slide it down. And then you're going to go and just go through the second hole of the second bead like that. And that's gonna put your petal on there. So you're gonna do it again. And then you're gonna go through the next bead on the second hole. And that's gonna put your petal bead in there as well. And you might have to flip it, like this one flipped a little bit. So maybe the wire, I actually make sure that the wire is straight. So going in straight. It's kind of hard to do this on camera because I like to get close and I can't get too close when I'm on camera. But there you go. So you're gonna do this all the way through this bead. You're gonna put your last petal between these two beads. So I'm just gonna speed it up. So you should have something like this at this point. So 5 super duo beads, and in between you're gonna get 4 petals between the super duo beads. This makes everything quite sturdy. Now I don't know if that would work the same with the fire line. I haven't tried it. Eventually I will, but as I said, I wanted to stretch this cord and see what I could do with it. So now we got this component done, but we have to get a wire to go through this bead again. So you see you have the cross right there from this. This wire is the primary wire that we started with. So we have to get this wire through on the other side. So this is going to be a little bit hard because this hole is very small, but it is doable. You just have to kind of really force it in there and keep forcing it until you get through the other side. And the wire comes out, and then you can see it right there. And then you can take it and pull it. And there you go. We have our first flower done. Isn't that pretty? I think that's very cute. So after this, we're gonna start doing some spacing. And what I did for my necklace, I'm gonna copy my necklace that I'll show you later, but I'm gonna pick 2 11-0s on one side. Actually, let's do, let me see. Because this is longer, let's do it on this other side. I might have to do one on one side and one on the other, but let's start it from this side actually, right here. So because it's the longer size, and we're gonna do our next little flower unit on there. So we're gonna pick up 2 11-0s to space it out. And then we're gonna take one of our orange beads and we're gonna string that one in. And then we're gonna pick up 2 more 11-0s and just string them in. Okay, so you should have something like this. Of course, it's gonna move because we're not crimped yet. We're gonna start doing our next flower unit. So we're gonna do the same thing. So we're gonna take our bead right here and string it on. And then, you know, we're working on this side, so we're gonna go this way and we're gonna pick up 5 of these, and always make sure that the holes are unclogged. I'm gonna do that really fast. And then we're gonna do what we did before. We're gonna go through the other side of this bead. So we got our super duo position this way. And then we're gonna step down to the second hole of this bead. And then we're gonna start adding our peeps just like we did before. So we're just gonna take our first one, just string it in, and then put through the second hole, go through the second hole of the next super duo, and so on, just like we did before. So just meet me back, and I'll just speed it up a little bit. Once again, we're gonna just get our thread that we've been working with and we're gonna pass it through in this piece. And as I said, it's gonna be kind of hard. Like you might have to push down on your other wires so that you can get this to go through. And it takes a little bit of, you know, swiveling around and just pushing it through. It takes time, guys. It's not super fast. You got 2 units, and then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side for a total of 3 units. So one thing that I forgot to mention is make sure that, you know, these are close to each other. So you might have to push this down a little bit so to get it aligned. And it takes a little bit of work because it wants to slide this way. This is a very kind of like springy cord. It's very soft, but it's still springy. So it tends to want to pull the beads away. So you kind of have to just keep on pushing it this way. But yeah, you're gonna keep going just like we did over here. So I'm just gonna speed it up. So get step down again, and then add your petal beads or peeps. Okay, so I've done this right now, and I did notice that this side is a little bit shorter than this side, but that's okay by me. I think what I'm gonna do a side clasp instead of a back clasp because, you know, I think it look nice. It's gonna be a little bit funkier. And I might actually change the clasp to match my necklace because it's not the same clasp. But I think it'll work out just fine. It's more decorative, so I'll go get it in just a minute. Yeah, so as you can see, we started with about 14 inches and now we're already down to about 8 inches in length. And I want it's going to be a tight fit because I want my bracelet to be about 7 inches. You know, so, you know, that's with the clasp included in the clasp, what I'm going to get is a little bit bigger. So you got to keep that in mind. When I did my necklace, I actually used about 24, 25 inches to do a 16 inch. So as you can see, a lot of the wire gets used up when you actually loop it around these units, you know. But that's okay, it's fine. So let me get that clasp and then we'll continue with the bracelet. Okay, so I decided to make a side clasp, but we're gonna keep going. So what we're gonna add now is 5 of these little seed beads. Then we're gonna add 1 of our orange beads, and then we're gonna add another 5 seed beads. So you're just gonna take we're gonna just go ahead and crimp. So we're gonna take our crimp tube and slide it in. And this one is kind of short because I miscalculated. So I have to kind of, you know, probably pull it. Okay, so I finally got it to a point where I wanted it. See, I even struggle, even though I've been doing this for several years. I still struggle sometimes with even the simplest of techniques. But, you know, if you can, try not to get it crossed. I think mine is a little crossed this time, but because it is soft flex, I'm not too worried about it. It's a very strong wire. But I'm going to go ahead and crimp it. So you're going to go in that first notch, and then you're going to go in the first notch, second notch, first notch, and then you crimp it. And mine is a little bit messed up, so I have to keep, you know, adjusting it until I am pretty satisfied with the look. And I think that's as good as it's gonna get. And then I can cut my extras. There's even like a little bit of a filament in here, but there you go. So we got that. So we got one side. Let's go ahead and measure it. Let's see how long we have. So we have 3.5. So we're gonna do another 3.5 on this side. We got to get it to 7 inches. So we'll just keep going until then we can get it. We're gonna repeat what we did on this side. Okay, so I went ahead and strung a little bit more. So we're going to be uneven. So it's not going to have 3 and 3. We're going to have 2 and 4 on this side. Of course, if you want this to be completely symmetrical and you want the clasp to go in the back, just work with a larger amount of wire just to be sure. Like I use 14, maybe go ahead and use 20 inches if you don't mind that. But let's see. So we got to this point and we're about to 6 1/4, 6 1/2. Now the clasp that I'm using, which I changed to this one, is gonna make it to about 7 inches, which is usually my wrist. So hopefully that'll be enough. And I'm gonna go ahead and crimp this side. So we're gonna do the same thing that we did before. We're just gonna add our crimp tubes. This time I'm using, I'm just stopping with 3 extra beads so I can add this clasp easily through. If you want to make it even a little bit longer, it wouldn't be a bad deal. So maybe I'll make it up to 5. I just don't want my bracelet to be too horribly big. So that's what I'm trying to do. Also, what you could do is just measure it, you know, make sure that, you know, it's gonna fit. And I think it's gonna fit just perfectly for me. So maybe even a little loose, which is never a bad thing because I don't like when things are too tight. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add my crimp. And we're gonna do the same thing that we did before. We're gonna slide it through. This side should be a lot easier because the other side was a little tight. But you know, we are close. So if you want to work with more wire, just work with more wire. I probably should have done that, but I was trying to conserve my precious soft flex because I love this wire, but it's not the cheapest. But it's so good. Guys, soft flex is so good. Ever since I tried it, I can't stop using it. So, and we're gonna do the same thing and just make sure that these are kind of even. Try to make sure that the wire don't cross if you can. Now, I don't know if mine is crossed. I don't think it is, but you never know. But with soft flex, I feel like you're safe. So once again, you're gonna make your first notch right there. Second notch, you're gonna pick the one with the tooth and you're just gonna squeeze, and then you're gonna take the first notch and round it up. Now, there is a tool that soft flex advertises sometimes, and it's not their tool, but it's the magic crimper that makes little balls. Now, I did try that one a while back and I did not like it. I would seriously struggle with it, so I don't know. I might give it a try again and try it again and buy it. I returned it, but you know, I think I had it through Amazon. I got it through Amazon and returned it because it just did not work for me. But if you have experience with that, please, you know, leave some tips because I would like to know. And of course, my cutters are a little bit rough lately, so they're just a little rough. Make sure that everything is like a little bit slinky, that is not too tight, because this might not work. Okay, so basically this is our bracelet. So I'm gonna go grab some jump rings, and I think I'm gonna add this longer here so it can get through this clasp, through the loop, and then I'm just gonna add the other one on the other side. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm gonna add my clasp with jump rings. If you want to, as I said, you can actually add the clasp directly without jump rings. I just like to do it this way because if anything happens to the clasp, I can always change it. It's just my personal preference. Soft flex, you know, wire is wonderful. It's very strong. So you don't need to do this if you don't want to. Obviously, if you want to do jump rings, you're going to need some tools. So just get your tools out. I have 2 of the same, but you also can use chain nose pliers and flat nose pliers. I just happen to have 2 chain nose right now. So I'm going to add on this side, I'm going to add this clasp right here. And then I'm going to close it. And then I'm going to add the little leaf side of the clasp on the other side. And these are 4mm jump rings, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that. But yeah, you just kind of do that. And you can use wire guards if you want, but I feel like soft flex is very strong and flexible and it doesn't need them. But you can certainly use them. If I use any other wire, I usually do because I don't trust it, but I trust this one. Okay, so this is closed. Sorry about all the little messy with the seed beads over here, but let's zoom out a little bit. Move these out of the way. So still, probably just, I have 1 peep bead left over there, so I did pretty good. And then we're just gonna clasp and make sure that the clasp goes in. And there's your bracelet. Isn't this cute? Let me try it on for you guys. Even if it's not perfectly, you know, you can wear it this way. I know the clasp is a little sideways, but it still works just fine. So there you go, you guys. Isn't this cute? I think this is really adorable. And you know, there's the clasp. You can even twist it around if you want to. It really doesn't matter that it's not perfectly centered. I think personally doesn't bother me. I think it just kind of like adds to the quirkiness and fun of this kit, because this kit I feel like it's very, you know, not to be taken too seriously. Um, yeah, this definitely gives me hippie vibes. But let's go ahead and let me show you what to do with the earrings if you decide to do the earrings, okay? Okay, basically we're gonna make this component and we're gonna do it the same exact way that we did for the bracelet. You're gonna obviously use less length, and I actually like to work directly from the spool. Should have probably done that with the bracelet as well, but I didn't this time. But there you go. So you do the same exact thing, and once you know your two sides come out, you just slide you know, one of your super duos like that. And then you're gonna take your crimp tube. And this is gonna be a little different and a little bit of a struggle. I mean, this whole this whole set has been a bit of a struggle. It's not the easiest, but the results are just so pretty. I can't help it. This is probably one of my favorite things I've made in a while. But so you're gonna pass your two wires and you're gonna match it to this one because I already did it. And then you're gonna take your longer wire. You're gonna keep this one and you're gonna loop it through. So we're gonna basically crimp 3 wires, which this crimp beads are fine for. So you're gonna pass your other wire, and you know, you might have to kind of grab it a little bit. Either with your hands or with a tool. I might have to use a tool. So I'm just gonna grab it right there and I'm just gonna pull it through. And then you're gonna have something like this. So one wire on one side, one wire on the other. And then you're gonna make sure that this matches. So this one looks like it needs to be a little bit more down. So I'm gonna push it down, and then we're gonna have this loop. Excuse me, that was my dog. You're gonna have this loop is having like a bit of an issue with, you know, his age, unfortunately, and there's not much we can do. But he's okay. But let me get back to this. So yeah, you're gonna have something like this, and then you're gonna be using your crimps and you're just gonna squeeze. This is actually easier than the other one that we did on the bracelet, and then you're gonna round it up just like that, like we did before. And now we got these two to cut out, so you're just gonna cut these. Now this doesn't matter as much if you know you have a little bit of tail left, because we're gonna cover it up. So we have 2 of these guys. One that was a little bit straighter than the other, but you know, once we put these, it should be fine. So I'm just gonna basically force this through, and this is gonna take work as always. But you're gonna force it through, and you're gonna pull it with your tool, and then you're gonna add an ear wire. So I usually like to add it from the back. It doesn't matter which side because it's the same side on both sides. So you can just slide in it whichever size. And then you're gonna make sure that this is closed really well. By wiggling it with your fingers, you know, a little bit side to side, till you make sure that that's pretty close so this won't get off. So there's one earring, and let's do the other one as well. And we're just gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna kind of squeeze this wire through. And then we're just gonna pull it, and then we're just gonna slide our ear wires in there, just like we did the other one, and we're gonna close it up. And you got your 2 earrings that match your bracelet. So let me go back and I'll show you the whole set. These are the earrings together, and I'll show you the necklace that I've made. And there you go, you guys. I get to show you the necklace. So I did use that Green Girl Studio pendant that's got a dove on the front, and then on the back it has a peace sign. So you can take a necklace like this and wear both sides. I already tried it on and I think it's absolutely beautiful. I'm thinking about keeping this one for myself maybe. And I especially like it now that I've made the matching earring set and the bracelet. So yeah, I don't mind that the clasp is slightly asymmetrical. I actually like asymmetrical jewelry. So I think this adds to the quirkiness of it all. And I absolutely love it. So what did you guys think of this necklace? Are you going to make it? And did you find the instructions easy to follow? I hope so. It was a bit of a struggle to film this, and it's probably going to be a struggle to edit it, but I'll work on it. And if I can, I'll just maybe get a picture at the end with, you know, the necklace on the on my dress form so you can see it. But if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I'd love to have you again. Once again, thanks for being here, and I wish you a really nice day and lots of crafting time. Bye, guys.